Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is Thursday, the 8th of October. So today is Thursday, the 8th of October. This is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So as usual, I'm here with you today. Hello Patripa, hello Margaret, Gautam, and everyone. Just let me know that my voice is okay or not, because at the moment I'm finding my mobile is not charging, so I have connected to the charger and it's still not well. So hopefully we can continue until the end of the talk and also our other programs. Oh, thank you, Gautam. Okay. So today again has been a very busy day for me. This early morning teachings and then meetings, planning for this Saturday and Sunday, and repairing and helping to find out, working in a barn and planning to buy materials to do the floorings, and here I am with you all. So this is what's going on at the center. So planning that this Sunday we're going to open the floor, and we'll check for further details before we go and order the materials. But again, from tomorrow there is another lockdown introduced in Scotland as the number of positive coronavirus increased significantly. Anyway, I think now this will be with us, and we have to learn to live with it. Yes, Yvonne, it's almost done. So Saturday we will be taking the floor, opening the floor, and planning for the next proper floorings to go on ahead. Okay. Right. So we are been talking on the right mindfulness or the right concentration, which is which is known as sammasamadhi, which is the last factors of Eightfold Noble Path, and this is also sometimes translated as the right meditation. Okay, it's up to a person who is going to change or who is going to speak on that. When I looked at the commentaries, it says that what is a right concentration. In the commentary it says that the establishment of the mind, the steadfastness of the mind, the stability of the mind, the non-wavering, non-distraction of the mind, the non-swaying of the mind, tranquility of the mind, the faculty of concentration, the factor of concentration, which is the factor of the path connected to the path. So there's so many translation or explanation for this right concentration or right mindfulness, right meditation or sammasamadhi. So that's why, and when we look at these translation or the explanation of what is the right concentration, again, this is from the Vibhanga, one of the commentaries, we can see that this is basically the practice of concentration, meditation, or the meditation itself is for a goal of a liberation and develop to support wisdom, which is to understand things as they truly are. And sometimes this samadhi, and I mentioned yesterday the definition and the translation and how this involves and how it affects to our life, and as we see that the meditation or concentration or sammasamadhi is one of the very essential part of the Buddha's teachings. On that base, rest of other doctrines are also in there. And this sammasamadhi is again, supported by rest of other 7 factors that I have explained. So in a short form, a samadhi or the concentration basically means mental concentration or mental cultivation. It is a one-pointedness or one-pointed concentration, or it is also a single-minded or the single attention. And yesterday I mentioned that is known as in Pali word, the Buddhist term, Chittasya ekagata. Chittasya ekagata, which means state of focused attention on one object. And that is the samadhi, the meditation. And obviously samadhi or the meditation, one can be working on a very thoroughly on something to act unwholesome. Or maybe a robber, the thief will plan thoroughly and being mindful on his tasks. So that's why it brings the unwholesome. It brings the trouble. It brings a lot of crimes. So that is known as a miccha samadhi, which means wrong meditation or wrong mindfulness nowadays it's called, or wrong concentration. And that's why here in the samadhi in the Buddhism is basically talking about wholesome state of the mind. And this mind is singled onto the object, and with that the mind becomes so focused that there is no distractions at all. Yeah? There is no distractions. And the mind is simply so attached to it. It's like glued in. Yeah? It's like a mind is glued in with the object. And there is no wavering. That's the mind. There is no wavering as well. There is no swaying of this or that. It's fully established. And that is the samadhi. And this meditation or the concentration, comes in so many ways and so many places in Buddhist philosophy. Which we can start off from, it is a part of a tisika. Or the education, the 3 types of education, right? 3 sikha. And that is, the first one is a sila, and that are precepts, so living a moral life. And the second is samadhi, okay? And then when it comes to the samadhi, and this is a concentration or the meditation. So this is in a tisika. The last one is the panya. And this sila, samadhi and panya, again, is the short form of Eightfold Noble Path. Right? The sila is samma vacha, the right speech. Samma kammanta, right action. Samma ajiva, right livelihood, known as the higher precepts, which I have spoke maybe last month. Beginning of last month. And that's the sila, the moral section. And the second is the samadhi section, that it's in the Eightfold Noble Path that I'm covering. And in the samadhi there comes right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So the right concentration is the last factor on it. Okay? And the another place it occurs is Bojjhanga, 7 factors of enlightenment. And this is the second last factor in the Bojjhanga, called Samadhi. And then the last one is the Upekkha. So this is part of the factors that leads one to be liberated in the Bojjhangas, the factors to be enlightened. And that comes in the second. And the third, in the practice of a meditation, particularly in the samatha meditation, or once we have practiced the samatha meditation, we are practicing into the vipassana meditation. And then that again moment, at that time, this becomes one of the factors, the faculties, indriyas, as a main who drives one to work, who drives one to practice. Okay? And once you have fully confidence, and that's become a bala, as a power. Okay? That comes in that section of the Dhamma too. And it is also comes in the so-called Bodhipakkhya Dhamma. It's an enlightenment factor, and which is again the huge and a chunk of books in that as well. And the last one is the sammasamadhi, which comes in the Eightfold Noble Path. So that's why there are so many types, so many places this sammasamadhi occurs as one of the very essential part of the teachings of the Buddha. And when we talk about the samadhi, again, some people may have heard and some people may have known that there are various types of samadhis. Various types. And when we look at the sub-commentaries like a Visuddhimagga, it explains in 3 main types of samadhis as a basic term before attaining the jhanas. One is called a momentary concentration, parikamma. Right? And the second is upachara samadhi. Upachara samadhi, or neighborhood concentration, or excess concentration. Right? That's a neighborhood concentration. Upachara samadhi. And the third is appana samadhi, the attainment concentration, or full attention, the full attention, the full concentration. And these 3 types of samadhis are not exist in the Tipitaka. In Tipitaka, these 3 types of samadhis are not explained. So that's why this is simply explained after Buddha entered the Parinibbana 400-500 years later. Okay, but however, these are so important to know that helps us to understand the level of samadhi or meditation, that how far we have attained the samadhi. And when we look at the scripture again, as we know that there are 2 types of a meditation. One is called a samatha meditation and another one is called a vipassana meditation. And we can find a lot of places talking about the samatha meditation as a samadhi. But in terms of the vipassana meditation, there are only handful places that is mentioned in the suttas. Because vipassana meditation is not the practice, it's a result of your practice of samadhi. Although people may say that practicing vipassana meditation, going to the practice of let's say anapanasati, and then saying that I am practicing vipassana meditation, or someone say practicing a satipatthana according to the Satipatthana, and then probably again saying that I am practicing Vipassana meditation. Or someone would go in a rising, falling, and saying I am practicing a Vipassana meditation. Now these are commonly adapted and understood, but in fact, when we are practicing Anapanasati, once we have understood, after the practice, that is Vipassana. So Vipassana basically means the result of your practice. It's called Pativeda Dhamma. Okay, Pativeda Dhamma. But however, it seems like in order to promote or to accommodate Western mind, and as well as some those who would like to be liberated, the word Vipassana has been adapted as in a wider sense. So the samadhi, again, that's why basically the most explained in the suttas or the discourses more than the vipassana. And the samatha meditation, again, there are so many types and so many types of a meditation that is explained, and again these are scattered all around, never been compiled as a one set of a group like it's compiled in the sub-commentary known as the Visuddhimagga, the path of purification. But the other places, the Buddha's time, it was just scattered all around. Okay. And like that. But anyway, so when we look at that, the concept of the samadhi, what we can see that, at first when we are practicing samadhi, basically it's not easy for someone who never been practiced meditation. Although they may have heard the benefit of meditation, particularly this time of pandemic, everyone is talking about it. Everyone is thinking of joining any form of a retreats or meditation retreats, or following any gurus in a meditation. And that's simply because having known that how meditation is helpful, and yet when they physically do it, it's not easy as they thought. It's very difficult. So that's why we have to start off with having the momentary concentration on the object. Simply learning to be mindful, probably 1 second or maybe less than a 1 second, a couple of seconds, be able to mindful of the object to start off. But if you never did it, then no way, you're not going to get anywhere anyway. But you have to start. And that is the starting moment. Suppose when you are paying attention to the rising, falling of abdomen, or the in-breath and out-breath at your nose, each moment that you are aware of that incoming and outgoing of the object, that is a momentary concentration. And momentary concentration is again a base for the development of insight. But here in the samadhi section, momentary concentration is simply preliminary practice to get used to with the object, to get used to with the mind, to get used to with sitting and training this mind to be mindful of the object. And obviously you have to have an object in this practice. And with that, after some days or a week or significantly having a right understanding of this and practicing diligently, dedicating your time, one of a regular time a day, what happens is your mind becomes established. It's like you become very close. It's like you are getting the object so close. Again and again, you're able to know that, and and then your mind confirms that this object is there, and that is known as upachara samadhi. Or there is another simile that I can give you, as like a bar, a gymnastic knows that the bar is there, and all what you need is you need to jump and hold that bar, so you can demonstrate the gymnastic shows. But that doesn't mean that if you haven't trained yourself, then you basically fall down. You would not be able to hold that bar maybe one or two times, and you fall down like that. So meditation is also when you are meditating by concentrating on one object. Sometimes you're able to be mindful of that, and other time you are not. So as long as you have this distracted mind, then you haven't attained any samadhis yet, but you have attained only momentary concentration. And these distractions again comes to distract our meditation. It's known as hindrances, which again 5 hindrances that I have explained it detailedly last 2 months ago, and which you can find in my our center's YouTube channel, Varapunya Buddhist Society, Buddhist Meditation Center. So this YouTube. So these all 5 hindrances, beginning with the sensual pleasure. Basically, we like to be entertaining our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. So these are hindrances, always take us away from the intended object. And that's how our mind is distracted. That's how our mind is swayed, because we haven't got the confidence that this practice is working, this practice is helping, this practice is a benefit. So as long as you haven't got the confidence and belief that this is helping, then there is always a possibility that swaying mind. Okay? So that's why the practice of a meditation here is to understand that, and then ability to remain in with the object for some time. So on and off, at that time it's called upachara samadhi. But the third one is attainment or fully concentrated mind. That's known as appana samadhi. And at this time, this appana samadhi time, you will be entering into so-called jhanas, absorptions, which is the higher stages of the right meditation or right concentration. And in Buddha's term, that 4 jhanas or 4 absorptions are the right concentration to attain. And these 4 jhanas are basically attained because of the seclusion, born out of a seclusion to begin with. And this appana samadhi, or the attainment samadhi, the attainment concentration, is so important that helps to understand that we have a capability to control our mind. Or basically another simile is that it's like you have understood and you are in the city. Like upachara, the second level of a samadhi, is like you are in a suburb of the city, and your destination is this city, and doesn't matter how long you have to wait. Exactly, as soon as the door opens, you will be inside the city. Appana samadhi, the third level of a samadhi, is basically you are in the city. So that means your mind and objects become a one. So single-minded, one-pointedness. Your mind is fully absorbed in that. And with that, the other jhanas will gradually attain, improves. And with the attainment of these jhanas, again, there are so many different types of the powers that one can attain. And these powers, again, if one misuse it, it can hurt and harm a person who has it too. So that's why it's a very delicate powers that people would like to have, like reading others' mind, reading past lives and knowing future lives, having divine ears, ability to perform magics, and these are some of the very supernatural powers one can attain through this attainment of the jhanas. But again, in the practice of Buddha's teachings, attainment of jhanas is not the ultimate, and having these supernatural powers are also not essential. So that's why until this jhanas, even the Indian yogis and the ascetics and even other faith gurus can attain that. And Buddha simply accepted that anyone can attain this. And at that time of the Buddha, everyone think that that was the end. And the Buddha said, no, that is not the end. There is more than that, and that is the Nibbana that one has to attain. That is understanding things as they truly are. And that is the true realization, and that is the end of our journey in the samsara. So that's why the practice of a samatha, this practice of a samadhi is so important in the Buddha's practice. So I offer this as a tonight's reflection for you all, and thank you everyone for listening, and may you all be well and happy. May you all develop your inner strength and mental cultivation to attain the samadhi and then to realize the nibbana in the near future. And thank you everyone for listening. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. In a few moments time, we're going to have evening chanting and guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night and see you soon. Sadhu.